Hi and welcome to this video series on pain and healing pain, both mental and physical pain. And in this video I'm gonna do a quick but thorough deep dive into the topic of pain, and I use this book as a basis to my little story here. It's called Pain is Really Strange by Steve Haines. They use like illustrations to tell you about pain, like what is it, why does it happen, and how to tackle it. So I'm gonna just kind of like talk about it in my own words. It will be a good foundation for understanding the other 3 videos in this very short series. So explaining pain. Pain is actually just the overactivation of our safety mechanism or our physical safety mechanism. So if there is a threat, your body is like alerting you, right? So if you burn your hand, it sends pain signals to your brain. It's like, there's danger, take this hand away. So pain is essentially kind of like an alarm system, but it sounds quite negative, so I prefer the term safety system, because what it wants you to do is to get into safety, because your whole body is constructed to survive the longest, right? So, and how do you survive? When you're in danger, you need to run, or you need to go you're being alerted that there's some kind of threat out there, and that's not always a physical threat, right? So burning your hand is very physical. Obviously, we kind of can understand why our hand is burning, why our hand is in pain, because we know, oh yeah, I burn it, so yeah, it hurts. But sometimes, or I would say usually, like nowadays, most of the times, the threat is more mental, or it's like a assumed threat. So usually it is caused by some kind of stress, work stress or school stress or whatever. But that mental stress can also cause some kind of physical stress. We call that psychosomatic symptoms. Most well known, I think, is the IBS, but that is also causing some kind of pain, or at least some kind of discomfort. And sometimes that just happens for a short amount of time. This safety system is designed to just be temporary, right? It's not gonna help. That's why we get adrenaline. For example, if you like break your leg or something, some people report that they didn't feel anything in the first few minutes or something. They didn't feel it even though they knew that they broke their leg. But that's because the body sends some kind of adrenaline to like soothe the pain, because you have to run away if there's some kind of, let's say you didn't break your leg just by falling, but there's a tiger who's like bitten your leg, right? It's no use to just like lay there and crumple in pain and like getting eaten by this tiger. You have to run away to get in safety. Things like IBS and chronic headaches, those are, as it says, chronic. So it means that it keeps on going. The safety system is like overreacting. Your safety system is overactive because it's triggered continuously. You can compare this to, for example, calluses on your hands or your feet. If you work a lot with your hands, you'll see that they get, callus on it. Or your feet, when you walk a lot on bare feet, it will get very crusty. I don't know, very rough. The skin is like building extra layers. Because there's a lot of attention, it grows. You know what they say about when you give something attention, it grows. It happens when you put your attention on a certain thought, it becomes bigger. You might also experience things like if there's a small problem, but you kind of like turn your attention to it too much and you start to overthink it, this problem that was small before, it kind of like becomes bigger. So it's the same with this safety system. If there's a threat, but you're like constantly focusing on that threat, that alarms, that safety system is just kind of like, it grows bigger. It's over overactive, overused. How to get this system to calm down again? How do you get rid of the calluses on your hands by not using your hands? Like apart from putting on some kind of medicine or whatever, if you just if you just stop using your hands as much, it will get less, because why would I need, the body's like, why would I put energy in something that's no use, you know? When you use like painkillers, how it works is that they kind of like cover the pain sensors, they kind of cover them with a blanket so that they don't get triggered anymore, that they cannot feel. So they kind of like take them away from the thing that triggers them. So they are just like taking your hands away from the things that cause the callus. It will stop sending out the signals that there's pain. But once you stop taking them, you did not take away like the source of this pain, whether it's mental source or like actual physical source, then it will still get triggered once this blanket is just worn off, right? Once the pain medication is worn out. I don't know how to say. So how can we take away the source then? Safety system reacts when it thinks that there is some kind of danger. So how does it stop? It stops when it thinks that the danger is gone and we're back in safe place. So what we should do is simulate safety, right? If there is no actual physical threat that we can take away, there is something in our brain that is causing the threat, or that is assuming that there is a threat. If you don't know what that cause is, then I recommend you to watch the first step in my healing process plan thing, which is like only three. Is it 3 steps or like 2 steps? I think it's even just 2 steps, but it doesn't matter. The first step is finding out what the subconscious problem is. What is the reason that you're kind of in pain? What is the reason that you think, or at least your body thinks, that there is some kind of threat? There is something mental or something in our mind that causes us to think, subconsciously maybe, that we're in danger. Because it's subconscious, it's hard to know, and we have to find out by doing some work. And therefore I suggest doing the morning pages. So that is going to be the next video. So if you've identified what the actual subconscious threat is, the mental threat, which is causing you physical pain, then you can start to attack that threat, or like counteract to that threat, and create or simulate safety for yourself. And once you have established that kind of safety again, re-establish the safety, the pain will also go away naturally, because the safety system is like, oh, you don't need me anymore because, you know, there is no danger anymore. So why should I keep ringing the bells? Because there's no point, you know, so it's not gonna trigger pain anymore. I hope that makes sense. So if you still don't understand what I was talking about, I really recommend you to read this book. It is just very small, so you learn a lot and it will make so much more sense. And when you know things, you can actually work with them better, I think, than when you don't know about them. So if you're interested in knowing how to heal from pain, mental pain, physical pain caused by mental pain, then please watch the rest of this series, and I hope it will help you. And yeah, okay, well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!